Pre 2 minutes completed quest. Eat your heart out. I'm the best, Alex, dude. Hey, what's going on, guys? Futtbutt here. Kind of wanted to do just a small kind of guide to Alexstraza, one of the newer characters to Heroes of the Storm. I haven't done one of these recently, and forgive me, I have some sores in my mouth, so I'll be having some lisp, and I might be speaking incorrectly or not coherently because of the pain a little bit. I do the flame build, so if you're coming here for the healing build, this is strictly the flame build and the dragon build, where you try and get your dragon ultimate, passive as up as frequently as possible, and use that to your advantage. I find this to be super awesome on 2-lane maps like Braxis. It's very strong. Battlefield of Eternity, a lot of the brawl maps, and I find it even more efficient if you do in the lane maps because you get mana back from your E. So kind of a quick rundown of the abilities before I break down the talents as gameplay is going on. Q is a quick cooldown, give some of your life, heal a teammate. Awesome with small, low HP targets. There's that. So she's good with small HP targets or middle health HP targets. I know a lot of people really like the percentage of health with tanks. Yeah, it's okay. It's not so awesome in my opinion. The W is a very long cooldown, which is her AoE circle healing and does percent of health. And then based on the flame build, your main ability is your flame buffet, your E, where you throw out fire. It's a 2-second cooldown, and if you hit him again, it slows. And if you have the quest, it reduces the cooldown of your dragon quest by about 4 seconds, I believe. And also, when you're in your dragon form, all your abilities change. Your healing comes up more frequently. Your AoE percent of healing is up more often. And instead of a flame, you use your wings to do disengage. That's about it. We'll talk about the ultimates through the talents. We'll get there in a second. So level 1, if you're doing the flame build, you do the flame and you try and get it stacked as quickly as possible. You want that up as soon as possible because it really gives you dragon ultimate. And if you get a pre-10, then you win a lot more fights, and you can be really aggressive. So generally, the time you really want to get your flame quest completed, I see a lot of Alexstrazas get this completed post 15 minutes. You need to actually be playing in the mid range and not the long range. A lot of people say poke. She's not a good poke character. She's about playing in the mid range and gets really aggressive in there. Sometimes even close range depending on the lane matchup. So what you want to do is just play very aggressively and get it stacked as quick as possible. On small maps, or if you can stack it quickly, you want to get it stacked in about 3 to 4 minutes quickly and 5 to 10 minutes if it's like a slow game, right? And you can't stack it quickly. Maybe you're in a solo lane because it's a big map. Maybe they're a very pokey team running Chromie. Hopefully you're not running into something that's high poke or high engage, where it makes it harder to stack, where they're playing back and then they'll all in you and try and kill you. But generally you want to aim to 3 to 4 minutes is optimal. If you get around 2 minutes or less, like I did at the start of this clip, that's awesome because look, Dragon Ultimate comes up. Well, I call it the ultimate. It is the passive, but it's just that strong. Comes up extremely frequently, and that's what you want. So, and it reduces the cooldown by 5 seconds. Actually, I was wrong about 4, and it's just a very easy quest to stack. So you want to generally go that for the flame build because it's kind of your bread and butter. Your first few talents are your bread and butter for this build. All right, and now going to the level 4 talent very quickly. It is the slow of Flame Buffet. I know some people for a while were thinking about, when the character was first coming out, get the movement speed, make dragon, you're very dynamic in team fights and moving around. But the thing is, Flame Buffet, if you get the heat exhaustion talent, which makes the 40% decaying slow to a 60% slow, actually really increases your kill and catch potential, and also it really helps in dueling. So it actually lets you become a 1v1 duelist, essentially, if you're against a bruiser, like Sonya, Butcher, sometimes Illidan, not always the most optimal, but it kind of gives you that chance to duel and harass, and also lets you stack your Flame Buffet easier in the lane. Because let's say, you're in the middle of the lane, you're fighting against an Arthas, he's trying to run back to his gate. Lets you get a couple more hits, very effective, and it lets you stack quicker, and also adds a lot of catch potential. If someone's out of the way, you hit them with a Flame Buffet. If you're the first one there, hit them again and again, and they won't be able to escape because it's so heavily, and you can indefinitely chase. You can chase them forever. Not a high damage ability, but you know what? Lining that up for your team is great. Level 7 is her most important, some of her most important talents, I find, depending on what build you go, but especially for the flame build, it's what gives you your sustain to make sure your Q is still efficient, your normal heal ability that costs your own HP. It gives you your health back, and not only that, it's not just a one-time effect of 10% of your HP back, because what it does is if you hit someone with a hero with a flame buffet, it gives your HP back. Now, a lot of people initially, when I saw this, I thought it was just one time, but it's actually really effective in team fights, and it gives you a lot of survivability. So it's really hard to, if the fight starts going on a little long and they're not able to burst you, you're able to heal very quickly. So 2-second cooldown, healing at least 10% of your HP. It can be a lot faster. Sometimes you're healing 20, 30%, 40% of your HP. It gets a little crazy, and it's pretty awesome that way. So you gotta try it out, see how it goes, but it really helps with dueling. It makes her instantly beat duelists. So level 4 kind of gives you the potential. Level 7, you're instantly winning every single one of those duels. You are one of actually the best duelists at level 7 because her auto attack damage is actually pretty good, and since it's range, and then she has a really good self-sustain, amazing duelist, really helps, and it lets you play way more aggressive in the team fight. Now, level 10, as you're seeing in the game right now, the talent you want to go, if you're the flame build, is Cleansing Flame over Lifebinder. Lifebinder is great if you're the healing build, but Cleansing Flame is, I find a far more flexible ultimate because it not only gives you disengage, it gives you engage, not only gives you invulnerability, and there is, of course, a channel effect, which is the danger of it, but it is far more flexible, especially if you are the dragon build, because the benefits are, since your dragon abilities are separate and even the interactions are different, if you are in dragon form, you instantly go into your ultimate, Cleansing Flame, which sends you in the sky. And also when you come down, it doesn't take away any of your time being a dragon. So you can come back, big, strong dragon, and be really aggressive and get back in the fight with still the same duration of the dragon that you were before. Now, here are some of the benefits of it. The healing is very high. So it does give you that catch potential on characters because, the range is so high, 5 shots, and it does a decent amount of damage, not a lot, but the healing is very high. It's the base is 300 and it scales. So if you have a really clustered team fight, one of the best healers in the game right there, because it's not only easy to target because you get to choose who you target on the healing, but it's very high burst healing, and it's just so frequently. It's just such a powerful effect. It's really great, and it combos so well, and it adds a lot of survivability to the kit. So overall, amazing. Also, as you can see here, it's just the healing is so high. Butcher is already practically full health. Little misclick on the structure, but you know what? Getting back into it. Good talent. Now, as we're seeing in the game, level 13 talent. I think I took the wrong one this game. Generally, you're supposed to take Pacify, but Dragon Scales is one that you can take on the off chance. And right here, see, they're chasing me. Awesome Flame Buffet heals. And also letting me get my Dragon mode up again. And it lets us re-engage because of it, which is an awesome ability. So not only that, and then I'm popping heals, and you are able to do that. Since all these ultimates were blown, kind of just breaking down the team fight a little bit, a ton of ultimates were blown in the last fight. Now, since I have Dragon Mode, it makes you one of the strongest, if not the strongest character in the game, in my opinion. You're able to re-engage like that. So, amazing ability. But back to level 13 talents. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you guys there. Level 13, we want to do Pacify. It's essentially a shrink, but it's a very low cooldown shrink, to be honest. So even though it says 60 seconds, it activates a slow and reduce an enemy's hero damage by 50%, which is awesome. And if you're healing stunned or silenced allies, and if you're in Dragon mode, where you're doing AoE healing very frequently, or even in your ultimate, it reduces the cooldown by 30 seconds. And you know what? That can stack on multiple people, right? So if they do an AoE stun and you heal 2 people during that, boom, instantly off cooldown again. So there are some cases where you can use it twice in a team fight. So it's a shrink that you can use frequently. And look at this healing. How did he stay alive that long? That ultimate is very flexible and it can do a lot of work. Even though he died and, the gorge by that Stitches was great. Good for him. Level 16. For a while, some people weren't taking Draconic Discipline on the flame build. Some people I noticed were doing, the shield over protective. I'm not really sure why. The reason you want Draconic Discipline is because of the interaction of your level 20 talent. Your level 16 talent transitions very well into your level 20 talent. We'll get into that in a second, but having an extra, in duration to it, making a 15-second duration into a 24-second duration, you're increasing the duration by over 50% of being the strongest character in the game, having high damage, good disengage, high HP, strongest healing, low cooldown healing, and also the flexibility of a good ultimate. You want the duration, all right? And also, since your cooldown, your W is 16 seconds, it lets you use it at the very start, and then you can use it at the beginning, and also midway. So that's kind of the benefit of it. So that's kind of what you want to do for your level 16 talent. And now let's get into your level 20 talents, the Ancient Flame. So after we go through the talents, I'll just even explain stuff along the way. Oh yeah, this part right here. So this is like one thing. So Dragon is so big. Look, you can just land in front of the gate. I love this. And then I just wing buffed her back and body blocked it. So that's something you can do with her. That's really fun. And I remember this butcher had a funny thing. That was legit, Alex. That's right. Yes. Sorry. All right, back to level 20 talent. Your level 20 talent during this, you don't want to do on Ruby Wings. And please, God, don't do Blessing of the Red. Blessing of the Red is really bad. It's a long cooldown and only 500 bonus health on one target. Not really worth it. It doesn't add a lot of stats. You want to get Ancient Flame, where it does slow your attack speed, but you apply Flame Buffet on it. So essentially, it doubles your damage. It lets you heal an incredible amount, right? Because it's applying the effects that you had earlier, and it lowers the cooldown of your Dragon passive. Yes, even though it doesn't directly show it, it will lower the cooldown of your Dragon passive. So you can have it up more frequently. So not only are you doing AoE with your attack and doing very high damage and AoE slow naturally and healing yourself by doing it, so you become a crazy hyper carry, but you're constantly having your Dragon ultimate up and making team fighting just a constant situation for you. It's just up all the time. And so that's why you kind of want to have that ultimate. Storm talent, right? So at level 20, you always want to go Ancient Flame. It's Flame build. It just makes your stats go out of control, and you just can't stop. Especially on small maps, you're constantly having your Dragon mode up. You just keep on spamming that ability. It's up all the time. It's very strong. All right, kind of just breaking, we can break down in the last few minutes of this game, kind of mechanics. Since the abilities and cooldowns of both Dragon and Alexstraza are separate, they are actually considered separate entities. So if you use some cooldowns of Alexstraza and her human form, they actually don't affect the cooldowns of Dragon, and vice versa. So what you want to do is drop your W or your healing abilities or any key abilities right away, not your ultimate, but your basic abilities, and then transform into Dragon. So one thing you do is, if you're middle half health, you drop your W on top of yourself, you Dragon form W again, you instantly heal 50% of your maximum health just from your W. Awesome little mechanic there. Really strong effect. So I've been finding Alexstraza, especially with this nerf on a lot of supports, except for her, just a little bit nerfed to her base HP. You know what? She's been really strong, and Flame build is really fun to do overall. But you can even see in this game, I believe I tap, but I have highest healing, highest damage, and I think highest siege damage as well. And that just happens. So, watch, Dragon form is up again, and just the damage and the pressure you just put on this enemy team is so high. And it's just, you become such a threat. So, yeah, that's kind of the context of it, guys. You know, I really suggest if you are playing her in competitive or ranked mode, really try and do it in lane heavy maps. I think Tomb of the Spider Queen is also a pretty good one where you're just playing so you don't lose mana off of your your Flame Buffet, and you just play aggressive, right? So hopefully you learned something, and until then, keep on playing HotS, play Alexstraza. She's fun. Talk to you later.